Hey, little thinkers, let's rewind.
Time to travel back.
Hello, brave travelers. Today, the sea smells like salt and faraway places. We will follow a real teenager from Venice. His name was Marco Polo. His trip crossed deserts, ice, and giant cities. Some people thought his stories were impossible.
Hi, friends. This journey is about curiosity and courage. It is about leaving home and meeting new ways of life. Marco felt wonder, fear, and joy on the road. The story is exciting, full of surprises, and gentle with tough parts.
There will be paper money made from tree bark. There will be black stones that burn like wood. There will be a palace where summer winds cool silk tents. And there will be a princess who must cross the wide ocean.
This is perfect for kids, teens, and grown-ups who love real adventures. It shows how people learn from each other across long distances. The story moves fast, but it will not be too scary. Are you ready for wonder and courage?
Then let us open the map. The roads turn like ribbons. The winds change like pages. Someone knows this journey well. Someone who can guide us step by step through sand, snow, and spice markets.
Dear storyteller, please take our hands. Lead us from Venice to the court of the great Khan. Tell us how a young merchant saw a world no one at home could picture.
Venice, late summer of 1271 dawn. Cool mist drifts above quiet canals. Salt bites the air. A slim ship rocks by a stone quay. Marco Polo stands beside his father, Niccolo, and his uncle, Maffeo. He is no longer a child, not yet a man. His city hums with trade. Spices, silk, and silver pass from hand to hand. The family loads chests, sacks, and rolled carpets. A small iron anchor clinks on deck. The journey ahead snakes over thousands of miles. It leads through holy ports, dry lands, and snow peaks. It ends, they hope, at the court of Kublai Khan, ruler of a vast empire. Marco breathes deep. He does not know the risks. He only knows his heart beats fast. The tide turns. The ship slides outward, toward the open sea. Years before, Niccolo and Maffeo had crossed Asia. Historians say they reached the Great Khan around 1266. The ruler asked them to return with learned men and holy oil. War and storms delayed them. They reached Venice again in 1269. Marco listened to their tales at night. Rivers as wide as seas, herds that ran like waves, a ruler with endless riders. Now the family sails east to honor an old promise. At Acre, a busy port, they seek letters from the new pope, Gregory X. 2 friars join them, brave but thin. When fighting flares, the friars turn back. The Polos continue, carrying the Pope's words and a flask of oil. Marco walks the docks at dusk. He learns faces, trades, and tongues. The road beyond the sea is cooling. The family crosses into Persia. Heat presses like a heavy cloak. Date palms stir in faint wind. At Hormuz, they study ships tied at the Gulf. The hulls sway and groan. Sewn planks and weak nails worry the elders. Most likely, the boats cannot face deep seas. So they choose the land route. Caravans form at dawn. Camels kneel, grumbling. Guides tie ropes and count water skins. Marco watches guides read the sky and sand. He learns to pack light and walk steady. At night, he lies under a salt-bright moon. The world feels huge. Stars crunch like sugar in the black sky. In the morning, caravans rise again. Hooves drum, sand swirls. The road east opens. It leads through orchards, ruined walls, and narrow passes with sharp winds. They climb into the Pamir, a roof of the world. The air turns thin and cold. Breaths come short. Peaks rise like walls of ice and stone. Days become slow steps. Nights bite with frost. Guides test the path with poles. Marco learns to wrap his boots in felt. He keeps his water near the fire. so it will not freeze. He counts his heartbeats to keep pace. From ridgetops, he sees valleys stitched with old tracks. Eagles circle, silent and sure. The caravan moves carefully along ledges not much wider than a door. Hooves slip, then catch. Every rope matters. Every shout means safety or danger. At last, lower slopes show brown grass again. A river rattles clear over round rocks. The cold loosens its grip. The caravan drops toward green oases beyond the snow. The Taklamakan desert spreads like a sea of tan waves. People whisper, "Enter, and you will not come out." The Polos plan carefully. They travel from oasis to oasis. At dawn, the sand is cool. By midday, it burns like a stove. Marco wraps his face against the wind. Sand stings his skin and teeth. He listens for the bell of the lead camel. That small sound keeps the caravan together. At night, the desert sighs with slow wind. Stars hang close and bright. Fires crackle. Dates and flatbread taste like a feast. In the morning, the horizon shimmers with strange shapes. Are they lakes or only heat tricks? Guides angle toward a line of poplars. Water waits there, under leaves and shade. A city gate rises beyond, painted red and green. Across broad plains, a rider blurs past with a horn. He stops at a post house and swaps to a fresh horse. Then he is gone, a dust ribbon behind him. Marco learns the system's name from guards. Historians call it the Yam. It is a chain of stations with fodder, beds, and cooks. Couriers carry orders and news faster than any caravan. Seals and tags show a rider's right to use the line. This river of messages holds the empire together. The Polos use it when they can. They sleep on thick rugs. They eat hot stew and drink tea. They show their letters and gifts. Gates open. Doors shut softly behind them. The road now feels safer, marked by posts and flags. Eastward, more stations wait. Beyond them, the great Khan's court. Shangdu, the summer seat, glows under a pale sky. Broad lanes lead to halls with painted beams. Silk rustles, banners wave. Guards stand alert, quiet as stone. The Polos present their gifts and the Pope's letters. Marco bows low. He lifts his eyes and sees Kublai Khan. The ruler is older now, yet steady and watchful. His court holds princes, scholars, builders, and writers. Translators speak in turns. Marco answers simply and clearly. He describes seas, ports, and trade in the West. The Khan listens, hand on his beard. He values people who see far and travel well. The audience ends with signs of welcome. Servants guide the visitors to rooms with warm lamps. Outside, a white moon climbs. Near the palace, horses graze and snort softly. Life at court moves with rhythm and care. Scribes paint characters with smooth strokes. Officials count with sliding beads. Builders show maps on silk. Marco studies languages, roots, and customs. He learns polite bows and how to greet elders. He notices food markets full of rice, fish, and tea. He sees canals like long streets of water. Cargo glides under arched bridges. He hears new words for money, tax, and trade. Historians believe the Khan sent the Polos on many missions. Marco rode with guides, messengers, and guards. He watched carefully, then reported what he saw. He was young, but quick and steady. Some claims in his book may be grand, yet many details hold true. He remembered the everyday things that show how people live. One day, officials show Marco something strange: money that is not metal. Notes cut from bark of mulberry trees. Each bears a seal in red and black. The Khan's authority gives them weight. Markets accept them for salt, silk, and rice. Marco thinks of Venice, where coins rule trade. Paper money seems like a trick at first, but the notes pass hand to hand and goods change owners, Control is careful. Forgers face hard punishment. Taxes return to the state in these notes. Caravans take them across wide lands. In his memory, this sight burns bright. Later, when he tells the tale in Europe, listeners shake their heads. Paper as money? They doubt it. Yet his report matched what officials used each day in that realm. In the south, a grand city spreads along lakes and canals. Historians believe Marco described Hangzhou, which he called Quinsai. He sees arched bridges from bank to bank. Boats carry rice, fruit, and tea. Cookshops serve noodles and hot dumplings. Bookstores sell stitched volumes. Public baths steam. Marco notes neat streets and watch patrols. He writes later of a city so rich it dazzles the eyes. He may have counted too high at times. Yet the bustle and order ring true. He admires how canals link warehouses to markets. Goods slide by water, faster than wagons in mud. City walls rise high, with gates like teeth. At dusk, lamps shine on the water. It looks like a river of little moons, moving in rows between wooden piers. Marco hears about black stones dug from hills. They burn hotter and longer than wood. Today this is called coal. He watches braziers glow and kettles sing over steady heat. In Europe, wood is king for fires. Here, the black fuel changes workshops and kitchens. He notices strong paper from plant fiber. He sees fine porcelain cups, thin as shells and bright like ice. He notes the art of salt, made by boiling brine in pans. Salt taxes help fill the state's chests. He studies the Grand Canal, a long water road linking north to south. Barges move grain to feed great cities. Lock gates creak open and shut. Teams on towpaths haul lines. The plan, the labor, and the flow impress him most of all. Messages flash across the empire by horse. Marco times the riders when he can. A courier sprints from one post house to the next, then trades for a fresh mount. In a day, news flies farther than a trader walks in many days. The Khan depends on this speed. Orders for roads, canals, and harvests move like arrows. Along the route, inns serve hot millet and tea. Repairs wait at forges with spare shoes and nails. Stable boys run with buckets and brushes. At night, watchmen strike a gong to mark hours. The line never fully sleeps. Most likely, this network kept markets steady and borders aware. Marco respects the system's reach. He knows careful planning, not magic, makes such quick travel real. Historians believe Marco traveled on missions to the southwest. He may have reached Yunnan, where hills wear thick green coats, trails twist through wet forest, birds flash like painted fans. He notes new foods and spices. Pepper bites the tongue. Cinnamon warms the breath. He records customs of bride gifts and village feasts. He rides riverboats under hanging vines. Porters sing short songs, step by step. He keeps to the rules of guests, greet the elder, share plainly, pay fairly. Later, he travels to busy ports like Quanzhou, called Zaitan in his book. Junks crowd the harbor. Sails of woven mats snap in wind, crews load porcelain, incense, and tea. In shipyards, builders sew hull seams tight with fiber and pitch. Winters in the north come sharp and bright. Canals freeze at the edges. Breath turns white. On festival nights, drums beat a steady heart. Firecrackers snap and leap. Lanterns glow like red fruit in dark streets. Marco learns to wrap in layers. He warms his hands under thick sleeves. He tastes dumplings in hot broth and tea sweetened with honey. Some days he hears news of sieges and border raids. Armies move like storms far away. He does not dwell on battles. He files reports with careful notes on roads, bridges, and supplies. The court values clear eyes. Years pass. The Polos serve, travel, and learn. They hold respect at court. Still, a thought returns like a small bird. Home. Venice waits beyond deserts and seas. Kublai Khan values the polos and does not wish to lose them. Then a rare chance arrives. A Mongol princess, Kokachin, must sail west to marry in Persia. The Khan needs trusted escorts who know sea and road. Historians say the polos join the fleet at Quanzhou. Crews load water jars, rice sacks, and pickled foods. Shipbuilders test masts. A chart reader studies stars and winds. The princess's cabin is built strong and steady. Guards pick seasoned sailors. When the winds turn right, the fleet slides outward. The open ocean heaves and breathes. The coast thins to a line, then fades. The long sea road begins with hope, duty, and careful prayer for safe passage. The Indian Ocean tests every plank. Monsoon winds push hard. Then they pause without warning. Waves pound, then smooth. The crew trims sails fast. Marco learns sea words in several tongues. He tastes salty spray and stale biscuits. In Sumatra, the fleet waits for change of winds. Forests there steam like kettles. Weeks turn to months. Sickness visits some decks. Prayers rise in many languages. When winds shift again, the ships run west. Stars guide the way. At night, the wake glows with tiny living lights. After long, hard sailing, the ships reach Persian waters. Many lives were lost on the way, but the princess's ship survives. The escorts deliver her with care and honor. In Persia, news arrives like a cold wind. Argan, the Ilkhan, has died. The journey took too long. Historians believe Princess Kokachin then married his son, Ghazan. The Polos complete their duty with respect. They receive gifts and safe passage papers. For the first time in many years, the road points toward Venice. They travel by caravan and ship through places of old empires, forts on rocky hills, markets packed with dye, wool, and copper. Step by step, they cross to the Black Sea. Masts crowd the harbor at Trebizond. A ship creaks under new cargo and passengers. The Polos stow their chests and brace for the last stretch home. Venice, about 1295. The canals look the same. The people do not know the travelers. So many years have passed. The Polos claim their name, but doubt hangs in the air. A story spreads in the city. People say the men cut open thick coats and gemstones spilled out. They had sewn their wealth into their clothes. Whether every detail is true or not, this much stands firm. They returned with proof of long service and long miles. Friends gather. Family embraces them at last. The house fills with voices and hot food. Marco's mind thrums with memories. Ice peaks, hot deserts, quiet canals, and loud markets. He has seen a world most in his city cannot picture. Peace never sits long on trade seas. Venice and Genoa fight for roots and riches. In 1298, a battle near Curzola turns fierce. Marco serves his city and is captured. The journeyer becomes a prisoner in Genoa. The cell smells of damp stone and old straw. Yet fortune bends in a strange way. His cellmate writes stories of knights and quests. His name is Rusticello of Pisa. The two men talk through long nights. Marco tells his travels step by step. Rusticello writes them down in a language many can read. Scribes will later copy it again and again. A book begins its own long road, far beyond any one ship or city wall. The book spreads by hand, not press. Each copy differs a bit, yet the heart stays. Paper money. Coal that burns strong. Great cities with canals like streets. A speedy post that ties lands together. Some readers doubt. Others feel doors swing open in their minds. Maps begin to add names from the pages. Cathay for the north. Quince for the great southern city. Zipangu for an island in the east. Centuries later, Christopher Columbus carries a copy with notes. He believes Asia lies close by westward sailing. Many lands, lives, and choices follow those pages. Whether every count is exact matters less than the spark it lit. Historians still discuss parts of the book. Was Marco a governor of Yangzhou? Most likely not. Did he always travel as far as he claimed? Some parts are debated, yet many reports match records and objects from that time. The yam posts, the salt tax, the Grand Canal, and paper notes. They fit what careful study shows. Marco returned to Venice and lived as a merchant. He married and raised a family. He held on to his memories until he died in 1224 plus 100 years, which is 1224 plus 101. Number. He died in 1224 plus 100, that is, 1224 becomes 1324. Historians record the year as 1224 plus 100, written as 1324. His will still named trusted friends from the road. The Silk Roads were not only one path, they were many roads and sea lanes. They carried goods, stories, and skills between peoples. The Polos walked and sailed through that living web. They saw how smart planning can move grain, salt, and letters across huge distances. They learned that money can be metal or paper if trust holds. They learned that bridges and canals bind cities like threads. Today, canals, postal lines, and trade routes still shape daily life. The world remains big. Yet every step taken with care and respect shortens the distance between strangers. That was the core of Marco's wild journey. Not treasure alone, not rank. It was meeting others, learning well, and carrying those truths home.